Hello again, everyone, and good Monday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Jeff Hines, and we'll be with you as always for the next hour, taking your comments and talking about everything going on with the Auburn Tigers. Auburn does get the win on Saturday, 24-13 over Southern Mississippi. It was not a pretty game. Obviously, the weather was a big factor in that game. There was the 2.5-hour rain delay played a big part in the game as well. But we'll talk about that. We'd love to get your thoughts on the game Saturday. This Auburn Tiger team now 4-1, 1-1 in the SEC, heading to Starkville, Mississippi next week to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who are reeling themselves, having lost 2 in a row now and scoring, I guess, 6 points?
6 points
in 2 games. So not good. Not good either way. Neither of these offenses are lighting the world on fire. They may be lighting themselves on fire, but that's about it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the SEC, what went on this weekend in the conference. Auburn moves up to number 8 in the AP poll. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm even going to comment on that. Auburn's number 8 team in the country. That's your Auburn Tigers. They're number 9 in the coaches poll in the country. Again, no comment. The Americans embarrassed themselves at the Ryder Cup yet again, as they are hammered by the Europeans, 17.5 to 10.5.
And that's probably all that needs to be said about that.
That may be all that needs to be said about that too. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, a combined 0 for 6.
Yep.
0 wins, 6 losses, 0 ties.
Yep.
0 for 6. Tiger's back. Wait a minute.
He's just not back in the Ryder Cup.
Well, he probably needs a little rest. But anyway, let's go back. Coach, it was a wet night in Auburn, or a wet afternoon. You stayed to the bitter end.
I did.
You're a true fan. I left after the delay and got absolutely drenched.
And rightly so. There's a personal reason that I stayed to the very end. And
you're a good father.
And, I've said on this show, my family has followed me all across this state and the Southeast watching my team play. It is the very least I can do to stay and when they're doing what they're doing.
That's a good way to look at it.
And whether it's Darby or whether it's KK or whoever, KK obviously is a school teacher now, but, that's just the way it is.
We're brought to you as always by Builder's First Source in Auburn, 1865 East Glen Avenue. You can give them a call, 334-502-3991 for all your professional grade building materials, whether you're starting a home or remodeling. And Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team located right here in Alexander City at 2040 Cherokee Road. They service the entire state of Alabama for all your mortgage needs. The Eric McKinley team. Eric's been in business for over 20 years. He knows the business backwards and forwards. He can help you. They can give you better rates than you'll find anywhere. 256-269-6008. Again, going back to the game on Saturday, it was another – I'm at the point now where I think it's time to stop saying the Auburn offense is struggling and to say the Auburn offense is not good. I don't know what else. The offensive line just cannot seem to block anybody with any consistency, and Jarrett Stidham doesn't have a lot of time. He looks like a man that's lost his confidence, although – Auburn did have a couple of deep passes. They were able to connect on a couple, which you say there's only 2 or 3. Well, that's all you need a game.
Yeah,
to kind of have those kind of things.
Yeah.
So there was some positives certainly I guess you could take from it, but 96 yards rushing against Southern Miss, to me that's kind of an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Boobie Whitlow comes up a little banged up. Now there's offensive linemen that are banged up. Tega and Driscoll both out. Don't know if they're out how long.
Yeah.
Don't know how long Whitlow's out. But now you got a patchwork offensive line. It's just the Auburn defense is terrific. I mean, they really are terrific. They do give up a player. They didn't play well when they came out after the delay. You can understand that a little bit, the loss of their intensity. But they're going to keep Auburn in practically every game they play this year. And it's just going to be, I'm afraid, I'm looking forward, and if things continue as they are, it's going to be gut-wrenching losses.
At least 5. At least 5 losses.
Wow.
And let me say this, Andy, and I'm an Auburn guy. I'll cheer for them. I'll be at games. I'll watch them on TV. But I've been saying on this show for the past, 3 weeks, maybe even a month, and I'm going to continue to say, this team is there's not as much talent down there as everybody has made it out to be. I saw running back after running back after running back absolutely get blown up trying to pass protect. And when I say blown up, I'm talking about knocked back.
Yeah.
And these are supposedly 4 and 5 stars, right? Okay. I saw Booby Whitlow break off a route that was wide open. Jarrett Stidham sitting back there had enough time to eat a sandwich, and he still throws it I don't know what he's looking at. That's just one particular thing. I see linebackers that have a hard time covering running backs out of the backfield. I see defensive backs not knowing where players are in the secondary. I see defensive linemen look like after 2 plays that they're dead and they just want to slam out. Don't get me wrong, this is a good defense. But it is not the defense that I thought it was going to be before the season started, that I put all my eggs in their basket.
Yeah.
I saw an offensive line, and it's players that were playing last year. Can't block a soul. Can't block me. But yet and still, we want to continue to talk about how much talent there is down there. I'm telling y'all better quit listening to these people that rate these players 5 and 4 stars, because I'm telling you, it ain't about 5 and 4. It's about what you can do on the field. And right now, they're not doing anything on the field, period.
That's for sure. There's no question about that. I was going to, I praised Nick Brahms last week I said I didn't see him get blown up on hardly any plays. Yeah. I thought he held his own. This week I saw him get blown up.
Oh, he was getting blown up.
I saw him laying on his back.
Absolutely. Look, the running backs that were stepping up to pass block were not the only ones that were getting blown up. No. There was linemen that was getting blown up. I just don't. I'm telling you that there's not the talent down there, and everybody's bought into what these people have said. These are 5 stars and 4 stars. I'm telling you, evidently, I don't know football player or talent, and I don't know what I'm looking at because I don't see it. It's a different athlete compared if you watch Ohio State play, if you watch Georgia play, if you watch Alabama play. In some cases, if you watch Penn State play, LSU play. It's a different kind. And everybody says, well, did they miss that bad? Well, I don't know if they missed that bad or not. I'm just telling you, they're not producing like those 4 and 5 stars over there are.
No, the production's certainly not there.
And I think it's a combination of
most certainly
player and coach.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where it's hard to understand how Auburn's in this position as far as on their offensive line. But everything goes off of that. If you don't have any time to do anything, then obviously the quarterback struggles. His confidence goes down. The running backs don't have holes. They can't find the holes. They shut off pretty quickly. So I don't know. I watched every other team that comes into Jordan-Hare Stadium and has to face what did I say last week? We went through the numbers in Southern Miss, and I said, well, the good news is that Southern Miss does not get after the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
They came into the game averaging 4 tackles for loss and a half a sack, a little bit over a half a sack. I looked down at the numbers. Southern Miss had 7 tackles for loss against Auburn and 3 sacks.
Yeah.
They're averaging 4 coming
Yeah.
in and half a sack.
Yeah.
So against Rice, Louisiana Monroe,
Yeah, exactly.
and Jackson State,
exactly.
they could not get to the quarterback.
Exactly.
But against Auburn, they had 3 sacks.
They had 3 sacks. That's exactly.
I mean,
right. I'm with you.
this is.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
That's why I say we're not struggling. We're just not any good
I'm gonna say something
offensively.
else. I'm gonna say this too. I'm tired of seeing the same people run out there, and I'm gonna blow this thing wide open right here. I don't know why they're not running C.J. Tarbert out there. He's been the MVP of the spring game the last 2 years. Asa Martin got blown slam up 3 times, and they finally put big number 32 in there. That's Malik
Miller.
Malik Miller. They finally put him in there. Well, evidently he don't know the plays. Then they go back. Booby's in the locker room. They checking his shoulder out because he's walking by me with his shoulder hanging down. I know what's wrong with him. I mean, put C.J. Tarbert in there. The other cats are not getting it done. That's what I don't understand about these coaches.
I think we're up against a break, but we will be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
I just don't get it.
Just FYI, I can't hear anything out here in the speaker. I don't know if it was playing the whole time or not. Yeah, Brett reminds me, I shortchanged Mississippi State. They scored 13 points, not 12, the last 2 weeks. So they scored 7 against Kentucky and 6 against.
Yeah, that's right.
Brett stayed till the end? Wow. I'm shocked.
I know why he stayed to the end. And he does too. Because he had some little ones that wanted to stay to the end. Brindley and all her buddies. And rightly so.
That's another thing. When we come back, I'd let you know the lack of what are we trying to do? You know, I mean, every offense has to have a philosophy.
They have.
You try to set up one thing with another. I don't know what we're trying to do.
I don't know I don't know. It's not that I don't know. I'm daggum sure that Auburn's offensive coaches do not know what Auburn's offensive identity is.
I think that's accurate.
I mean, Andy, how many, and you and you've brought this up, I don't know how many times. How many middle range passes did Auburn throw? We either throwing it in the flats like a toss sweep,
deep.
or we throwing it deep. What about a 10-yard dig or a 10-yard out or a 12-yard curl back to 10 or smash route across? I mean, good Lord, I don't know anything about football, but I can give you some routes. I mean, come on.
We used to have a guy call Sports Call a lot. He called Sports Blitz too. He would say, "We don't run no routes."
Kentucky, Florida play today. Kentucky, Auburn.
Oh,
Kentucky.
Oh,
Look at him.
I'd take Kentucky.
I'm in my Big Blue Nation stuff today, baby.
I'd take Kentucky.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is.
No,
yeah.
question is how much would Kentucky be favored by?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think they would.
I mean,
Where are we playing the game? Auburn? Where are we
it
playing the
don't
game?
matter.
You give it at you give it at Auburn. It might be a pick 'em, but you play in Kentucky. I
You
believe
play at Kroger Field.
they're at least a 3-point.
They're at
favorite.
least a 3-point favorite.
Kentucky's for real. Now, if they go to A&M and win this week, you better
start
look out.
looking for that.
You better start
3 weeks.
polishing the Coach of the Year trophy.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. Jeffrey brings up a good point. If Whitlow's out, look for Cox to be the third down back in passing situation. Wouldn't surprise me if we see more Malik Miller moving forward, and he is a more physical runner than Cam or the other freshmen. Gus wants the identity to be physical running with play action. Probably not going to happen this year. Oh, I totally agree with that. Going to have to spread it out some more and rely on Stidham. Don't think we have the personnel to run the power game. I know for a fact they don't have personnel to run the power game. That's a great point, Jeffrey. And I know you watch a lot of film, and I tell you what I've seen is it's just not a whole. It's just not that talent that everybody claims there is.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Jeff here with you for about 45 more minutes in today's show. A lot of comments rolling in. We'll get to some of those in this segment. But first, this segment brought to you by Cheeseburger in downtown Auburn, a great place to have lunch or dinner. They got weekly specials each and every day of the week. It is Monday. That means it's classic combo. That's a 4th-pound burger, fries, and a drink for only $8.99. And it is a tasty burger.
Yes, it is.
That is a tasty burger.
Yes.
As Jules said. But happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 6, $1 off beer and $1 fries and onion rings with your purchase during happy hour, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. It has been announced that Auburn will host Tennessee at 11 a.m.
Oh, man.
11 a.m. For the Auburn-Tennessee game. I guess you could probably see that one coming, maybe.
Yeah.
I was hoping it'd be the 6 or 6:30, but that one's going to be an afternoon affair. At least it's Tennessee. Tennessee will have had a week off to prepare for Auburn.
That is correct.
But we'll see what happens during that game. Again, a lot of comments rolling in. Lindsey needs to learn how to help out the offensive line struggles and throw some slants, quick passes, not run up the middle and throw 40-plus yard passes. That's what it just seems like. Auburn just does not make any kind of adjustments, knowing that they're having trouble blocking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've tried to roll Stidham out a couple of times, and we try to do that several times a game, but I don't know if we've ever completed one of those because it seems like nobody's ever open. Either we're not running good routes. We're not,
or the routes are not very good.
Yeah.
What I mean, schematically, the routes are not very good. Yeah. We're running good routes, but schematically, the routes are no good. Mark brings up a good point. Do we need a better wide receiver coach, somebody that knows how to scheme the right routes for defensive alignment? Well, that's actually not on Cody right there, Mark. That's actually on Chip Lindsey and Gus Malzahn. Their system is like the point I used where Booby Whitlow broke off a route. I think it was Booby. It may have been one of the wide receivers. He broke the route off, and Jarrett Stidham still threw behind him. Well, he was wide open after he broke the route off across the middle. I mean, it's like, what are we looking at? What are we? I just
nobody's on the same page.
Nobody's on the same page. I mean, good receivers and a good quarterback can ad lib on a play, meaning they can break a route off and still make the play. Not at Auburn, they can't.
No.
Not at Auburn, they can't.
Apparently not. Penalties were a problem. We didn't see. We put in a new center last week. We did not see very many procedure penalties. They were there galore on Saturday. Continually, not the guards especially, just not being able to hold their water. I mean, It seemed like it was after the second clap, and it was a long pause, and it was, I guess, too long. So it just, there were several costly penalties. Auburn continues to be one of the more penalized teams. 9 penalties in this game. Only 1 turnover, but could have been a very costly one.
Yeah, could have.
And that was on a play again where Jarrett Stidham drops back and, guy coming. I mean, we can't block him.
Can't block him. I mean, well, you talk about the penalties. My wife looked at me at the game Saturday and said, well, why do they continue to get illegal procedure penalties? And I looked at her and I said, baby, because last week they knew the snap count. So we worked on a different snap count this week, and we can't handle
We don't know
ourselves.
it.
We don't know it.
We fooled them. We fooled ourselves.
We
as
fooled
well.
ourselves too. I mean, come on. Somebody posted, does Auburn even practice during the week?
Well, we do practice. I can verify that.
I know, look, those coaches are working 24/7. I know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating for that coaching staff. It's frustrating for Gus Malzahn. I get all that. I've walked in those shoes, not to that level and not being paid to that level, but I have walked in those shoes. It is very frustrating when you can't seem to push the right button to fix the need that needs to be fixed. And I can sit up here and I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth because I've been on both sides. But it is. But it's 4-1. We're 5 games in.
Yeah.
They're getting paid a lot of money. A lot of money. And again, I'm not knocking coaching because I'm going to go back to what I've been saying. I just don't think that the talent level is where everybody thinks it is.
Here's a good one from Steven. This analogy applies to offense anywhere. An offense is like a motorized vehicle. Offensive line is the engine. The quarterback, the steering wheel. The running backs and the wide receivers, the wheels and tires. With that in mind, if the engine doesn't run or fire on all cylinders, the tires, the wheels do not roll, and the vehicle will not steer in any direction. It all starts in the trenches for any offensive productivity. And that's what we said going back to the beginning. It all starts with the offensive line.
Sure it does.
And if you have good protection, if they are winning that battle up front, it makes everybody's job easier, and everybody else seems and is more productive. That's where Auburn's biggest breakdown is right now. I look at Seth Williams. I look at Darius Slayton. I look at Ryan. By the way, Ryan Davis caught 2 passes.
What's up with that?
2 passes. That can't happen in a game. I don't care any game. He's got to catch at least 5 or 6 passes.
He is a terrific.
He's Auburn's best receiver.
He's a terrific playmaker.
He is.
So why would you not get the ball in his hands? Again.
Add that to the list of the questions.
Continue to add it. Yeah, exactly.
So I look at those receivers. Those are good-looking receivers. Auburn's got some good-looking receivers.
Yeah.
I think they've got some decent tailbacks. And I know Jarrett Stidham's got the potential to be a really good quarterback. So
Jarrett Stidham is nowhere close to where he was at Georgia, Alabama end of the year.
he's not even close to where he was at Washington.
No.
And things are getting worse. Things are getting worse, not better. We're up against another break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.
Travis says, I disagree. I think we're lacking talent at O-line, but loaded everywhere else. I'm not going to buy that, Travis, because I watch running backs get blown up. I watch linebackers have a hard time covering running backs. I watch secondary guys not know where the ball is. I watch defensive linemen tired after 2-3 plays or just not playing hard. I mean, look, this defense is good, and I get that, but it ain't as good as everybody thought it was going to be from the get-go. Just my opinion. Offensively, O-line is obviously not very good. Receivers either have a hard time getting open or our schematics on routes are not very good. We don't have 0 running game. Stidham has a hard time adjusting and ad-libbing to the play. Holds the ball too long. To me, that's got to be talent at some point in time. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put all that on coaching.
No.
So, I just kind of, our linebackers are studs. Well, maybe they are studs.
Here's the other thing, and Jeffrey says, and I get it, and I agree. Look, he says we forget that we lost 2 All-American linemen, Casey Dunn and Braden Smith.
No
A
question.
versatile quality lineman in Austin Goldson.
No
and
question.
a good run blocker in Darius James. It's a
Yeah.
rebuild year on the offensive line. I get it. And I know that's true.
Yeah.
However, it's not like we got 5 true freshmen out there.
Exactly.
These are all juniors.
Yeah.
Now, you can say, well, Prince Tigers only played football for 3 years. Okay. You can say that, whatever, yada, yada, Mike Horton and Harrell or look, these guys, it's not that we're fundamentally not sound. I mean, or that's the biggest problem is fundamental. I think we're back. Okay. Are we back?
Oh, we're back already?
We're back on the Auburn Blitz.
Okay, good.
Andy and Jeff here with you for about 35 more minutes in today's show. We were talking about during the break with our Facebook viewers about the offensive line. Now, Auburn lost a ton off last year's offensive line. That's true. Casey Dunn, Braden Smith. Casey Dunn turned out to be really good, transfer from Jacksonville State, right?
Yeah.
But Braden Smith, he's in the NFL now doing a great job. Austin Goldson, very versatile, extremely could play any position.
Anywhere across the front.
I get Darius James, good run blocker.
Yeah.
I get it. But these guys have been in the system. They have been in the strength and conditioning program. It's not that we're just, fundamentally unsound. We're getting whipped physically.
Exactly.
And I don't understand how that continues to happen.
Yeah.
Why?
It's almost like we're not very strong.
I mean, I think we've narrowed it down, and I think everybody understands we just have not recruited offensive line very well at all in the last 4 years. I mean, we missed on quite a few apparently. And look, you got Calvin Ashley sitting over there on the bench, I guess. And we have to have a transfer from UMass start at right tackle.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
Now, I think Herb Hand was supposed to be a great recruiter, obviously he was very poor in technical, teaching the fundamentals of offensive line. I think J.B. Grimes is excellent at teaching fundamentals, but there's only so much you can do with guys
that is the best point that we've made today. There's only so much a coach can do.
Yeah.
And either you got it or you don't. And if you was rated a 5-star coming out of Dadgum High School and you can't block me, then you probably wasn't a 5-star coming out of high school. Somebody tricked you.
Yeah, probably so. But we'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you think about Auburn. What's the biggest problem you see moving forward? Auburn's got, on the road in Starkville. The last time that people talk about that 3-2 game, coincidentally, Auburn played Southern Miss that year too. And you remember what it was? I think they won 27-13.
Really?
Something to that effect. And, we were horrible. We couldn't throw the ball at all. I think we ran the ball pretty well that year, that game. We couldn't throw it hardly at all.
Yeah.
But I believe that was the same year, 2008. And we end up, we go to Mississippi State and we win 3-2. We may be headed there again because Mississippi State's offense is about as bad as Auburn.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Yeah.
It'll be a defensive struggle, that's for sure. Here we go. Southern Miss, 260 total yards. Now, look, there we go about the defense again. They came in averaging nearly 470 yards a game. Auburn holds them to 260. They were averaging 132 yards rushing. We hold them to 45. Mm-hmm. They were averaging 354 yards passing. We hold them to 215. So, the defense did their job. They gave up 13 points. They gave up just a couple of drives. They gave up one. Let's see. They gave up one drive to start the third quarter, 63 yards that was ended in a field goal. And then the second drive of the third quarter was 65 yards that ended in a touchdown. But really, other than that, they really didn't do much in anything.
I would agree with that. I would agree. However, it's Southern Miss.
I know.
Can you tell me what Jennings is going from Davie, Alabama, is going to do to our running backs or Matt Wilson? Can you tell me what they're going? It's going to look like I mean, it's going to be just a black spot in the turf where they have just choke slammed us to get to the quarterback. Because I keep
I'm not
harping.
even thinking about that right now.
but you got to think about that because that's the caliber of player that we're fixing to play.
Yeah.
Starting this week with Mississippi State.
Yeah, we're going to face a real defensive line this week.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you thought that Auburn couldn't, was having trouble blocking Southern Miss, it's going to be even more difficult to try to block, even try to block Mississippi State. So that being said, look, I say, and I feel confident in saying Auburn's defense is going to keep them in games.
Auburn's defense will keep them in every game.
But then that makes
except possibly the Alabama game.
And I think that will probably, make the losses even worse because it's just going to be so frustrating to watch, the Auburn offense have opportunity after even the defense and special teams set them up in great position. Yeah. I mean, look, if you think about the what was it, the second drive for Auburn, they're set up at the 33-yard line.
They sure are.
And what do? They lose 7 yards and end up punting.
What?
You're set up on your opponent's 33-yard line, and you end up punting.
One of them was because one play in that series was because of just a terrible play call. And I can't remember. It was the
there's so many they run together.
Well, I know. But it was something that you didn't need to. I mean, you were going backwards instead of going forward.
Yeah.
But you talk about Auburn's defense going to keep them in every game. I mean, we're going to have those guys are going to be so worn out from playing so long on these Saturdays. I don't know how we're just going to have to roll them off the field when the game's over and just hope we can get, because Auburn's offense can't stay on the field.
No, I mean, converting third downs, and keeping drives going is a problem for Auburn right now. I mean, outside they did the first 3 drives, 3 plays, 2 plays. Now that was a touchdown. That was the long pass, and that's what I see with Jarrett Stidham. That was what I want to see, and that's what we're going to have to see with the offensive line as it is. Stidham is going to have to take some hits.
Yeah,
I know that's not good. I know that's
not good.
Good, but look, it's what's got to happen.
I agree with you.
He's got to stand in the pocket and take the hit to deliver the throw.
Yeah.
And he did that, and it was a touchdown.
It sure was.
And if we see that moving forward, then and there's a chance he's going to get hurt. But to be perfectly honest, we got no other choice. We're down 2 with that, I believe.
Well, and
it's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that is. And I'm not picking on Jeffrey here because he talks about the delay because everybody and their brother's talking about the delay. Come on now. The delay is affecting 5 minutes when the delay's over with and 5 minutes back into the game, you can't say nothing about no delay. You're right back into the mode. I don't want to hear nothing about no delay.
Yeah. Affected both teams.
Both teams, yeah, exactly.
So.
But what my point is, it's just like starting a game over. The first 5 minutes into the game, you back in right back where you back into the rhythm.
I'll say one thing. One of those screen passes, or I think it was a little dump or something, one of the biggest plays, it was about a 25, 30-yard run. You could see Auburn's defenders were just slipping and sliding.
Oh, yeah. Phil was it's bad when they won't even let the Tiger Paws get on the field.
You're right.
And they didn't after the rain delay. They had to stay off on that rubber stuff.
Van didn't go on the field, did
Van did not go on the field.
What about the homecoming queen? Did she get to go out there?
See, we were walking to the stadium when that was going on. We missed that.
That's, bad for her. That's a big moment.
And I
hate that.
By the way, Sadie, who won it, Argo, is Sam Sturdivant's fiance.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam Sturdivant being
David Sturdivant and Laurie Sturdivant's son.
There you go.
One of the twins.
Okay.
So got some local ties here. She's from Montgomery, went to St. James, but
Well, to Sam, I would say well done.
Well done. Exactly.
Yeah.
She's a pretty girl. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah. Good. Homecoming queen for Auburn.
That's correct.
Sadie
Argo.
Argo.
Yeah.
Sadie Argo. There you go. You learned something new. If nothing else, you learned something on this show. We're up against another break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this. Let's see.
Jeffrey's right. Other teams didn't lose their starting tackles. I get that, but the teams that you're trying to compete against, the Georgias, the Alabamas, they just slide another one in there and don't miss a beat.
You did notice that Austin Troxell was in there for like one series.
And gone.
And they said, you're out.
Yeah. Well, Brett said all along that he wasn't 100% that the guy could get it done.
Yeah. Well, apparently the coaches felt the same way.
Yeah. And not trying to disrespect players. I mean, we just have to call it like we see it.
Well, I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up.
Boy, Carry-On showed out again yesterday, didn't he?
Tell you.
And why they only giving the ball to him 9 times, I bet somebody's going to be asking Patricia, the coach, why you only giving Carry-On the ball 9 times. I think he had 9 carries for 55 yards. That's 6 yards a carry.
Wow.
Right? I'm not a math major, but that is right, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Our route tree is predicated on being able to run the ball based off where safeties and linebackers would supposedly be if we were successful in the run game. We will have to adjust moving forward. Shouldn't that adjustment have already been made by now? We've been able to run the football all year. Yeah.
You know, John, John's talking about the delay. He's talking about when Bama, Missouri. I can't answer that, but I would absolutely be shocked if they didn't break up in positions and have communication during the delay. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, you know, they cut halftime was only 15 minutes. So
yes, it was.
Then Auburn didn't have time to make the adjustments they needed.
He's talking about during the delay, though. But let me say this. If you don't think Gus Malzahn and this staff can coach football, then we're sadly mistaken. But right now, it just doesn't look like it. And I'm gonna say you go back to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a fluke that Alabama spanked Georgia and spanked Alabama? Was that a fluke?
I don't think so.
I don't either. So they forgot how to coach from last year to this year. Is that what you're telling me?
No, that was a great comment though, from John Coley. You positive? You finally did not come out and lay an egg in the first game of the season. The negative. You peaked in the first game of the season.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, Steele said that. I'm kind of way ahead of you. Steele said that. This from Jeffrey. Steele said they changed the game plan during the delay, then went back to the original plan.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Coach Jeff Hines here with you for about 20 more minutes in today's show. Talking about Auburn and Southern Miss, the number 8 team in the country. They are your Auburn Tigers, 4-1, 1-1 on the season. It could be worse.
You know what? We have absolutely raked them over the coals in the first 40 minutes of this show. And at the end of the day, they're still 4-1 and ranked 8th in the country.
I mean, are we poor sports? Are we just horrible fans?
Yeah. I mean,
is that what it is?
Look, we have absolutely torn them a new one in the first 40 minutes. But and
the loss is a 1-point loss to the number 5 team in the country.
I know it. And
on the last second field goal.
Here's when we walk out of this studio, we will be pulling for the 4-1 Auburn Tigers, who are ranked 8th in the country. Go figure.
Hey, go out and beat Mississippi State next week.
And you're 5-1.
I don't care if it's ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's good to be. It's better to be complaining about things when you're 4-1 than when you're 1-4.
Yeah, no doubt.
So anyway,
boy, I don't even know if we'd have anybody watching us if it was 1-4. Let me add this real quick.
Go ahead.
Tip off for Toomers, October 11th. They've released the schedule. 10 to 4 will be campus recreation. This is an all-day event. 10 to 4 will be campus recreation. They're going to have a student 3-on-3 tournament. At 6 to 7.
Wish I was still a student.
That's right. At 6 to 7, they're going to do Tiger Talk live on the court.
Cool.
7 o'clock, they're going to have the championship game of the 3-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 8 o'clock, your Auburn basketball Tigers take the court.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
For a controlled scrimmage or dunk contest?
I'm assuming they will have a variety of things and maybe even a little bit of controlled scrimmage in there. Because I have seen dunk contest 3-on-3. I mean, dunk contest, 3-point shootout.
Right.
I've seen that. But going to be a fun day. I would think there would be some kind of a controlled scrimmage because I heard that the SEC network was going to pick that up. Have you heard that?
I think I heard that the SEC network was going to air it.
Yeah. So I think there might be some kind of controlled scrimmage in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds good.
And I would add this point too. If you watch the video on the Jumbotron, and speaking of that, I enjoy watching that because I get to see Auburn scoring on that thing.
Yeah.
and it's from last year, year before last, year before that. But anyway, can you the body changes of the basketball team is unbelievable.
It really is. We're going to be in shape.
There ain't no doubt about it.
There ain't nobody going to outwork us.
I don't think
It
so.
doesn't appear so. So
anyway, just want to get that tidbit in about tip off at Toomer.
And I think here one final tidbit about the defense. I think I read today that Auburn has given up the fewest amount of touchdowns of any defense in the country.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Moving around, looking around the SEC. Certainly, if you have any more comments about Auburn and Southern Miss, fire away. We will react to them as they come in. But looking around the SEC. Tennessee predictably goes down high to Georgia, 38-12. Not really much to this game. Pretty much what you would expect. Ole Miss, I thought they might put up a little bit better fight.
Yeah, man.
But LSU, they're Ole Miss's defense. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's the worst defense I've ever seen in the SEC.
It may be.
They can't even think about stopping anybody. And LSU runs up down the field on them. And, hey, Joe Burrow had he's getting better.
Look,
his numbers are getting better.
I mean, every time they win, it adds more confidence to that whole team. And I had them pick second to the last in the West. And every time it just makes my body cringe when they just thumping people.
Well, if they go and beat Florida on Saturday, I will I don't know. We'll see. But I will think that's kind of that I'll be very impressed with LSU.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, no question.
South Carolina at Kentucky. Excuse me. Kentucky is for real.
Yes, sir, they are.
After a huge win at home, they come back with another big win over a pretty good South Carolina team, 24-10. But South Carolina turned the ball over 4 times. You know, the yardage, it was about the same. But, hey, Kentucky, you give them all the credit in the world, right?
Oh, no doubt.
Mark Stoops done a fantastic job.
No, there's not. And you make a great point. They win this weekend, they can start shining up the Coach of the Year trophy for him.
I agree.
I mean, there's no question about that.
Mark says that our current performance, how many points could this Auburn offense score on Ole Miss? Could we get to 17? We can't score 17 on Ole Miss. Then I just think we need to stop. Just forget the season. Stop the rest of the season.
If they can't score 17 on Ole Miss, then what I would recommend is us to get in the wishbone too tight and try to control the ball instead of putting our defense in a position that, you know, they're going to have to play, I don't know, 3/4 of the game on the field.
If nothing else, go into center I formation and old-fashioned
That's
football.
what I'm saying. Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Put Joey Gatewood at quarterback, get in the wishbone,
put Malik Miller back there and let's run a read option, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or you know, you can put 27.
Oh, 24?
No,
Not the quarterback.
H-back.
Oh, Cox.
Put Cox at fullback. Put Malik.
Put Cox at quarterback. We're on the Cox cat.
You better stop before I turn this whole thing over.
Oh, man. Florida, I thought this one might have been the lock of the year. There's no way Mississippi State would lose to Florida at home.
No.
They lost to Florida at home.
They sure did.
And I thought Dan Mullen outcoached Moorhead, up and down the field all night.
Yeah.
And that was the difference, really.
Yeah.
It was an ugly game, but, hey, congratulations, Florida. A&M and Arkansas, we would have expected.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Correct, Jeffrey. Marcus Spears was talking about that this morning. He said, and keep in mind that Kentucky has a recent history of doing well the first half of the season and then falling apart in the second half. And Jeffrey's right on that. I just think it's a little bit different this year because in those years they've always lost to Florida early.
Right.
And this year they didn't. But, and Marcus brought up a good point. In those years where they did well early and fizzled at the end, they weren't beating people at the line of scrimmage like they are right now.
No.
They are physically whipping people at the line of scrimmage.
And they've got defensive players that like they could play for anybody.
Oh, they're going to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I agree with Jeffrey. Marcus says if they win this weekend, you better watch out.
John brings up an interesting point about the delay. He said, 3 or 4 years ago when Alabama went out to play Missouri, they had a delay.
Yeah.
He said the TV guy said Saban already had chairs set up, printouts of talking points for players, and pictures of the opponent's formations.
Yeah.
It sounds like no one had a plan for Auburn. Some kids stretched, some took off pads, some got cold, no plan. Seems like the coaches or at least the training staff would have had some plan of how to best use that time.
Well, that's when earlier in that segment, that's when I was saying I just don't believe that they weren't broken up into positions and having meetings with their coaching staff, with their coach. I just don't believe they let them sit around. I just don't. And maybe they did. I don't know. I just don't think that went down like that. It's like Kevin Steele said they changed their whole game plan and then went back to the original plan when they got back on the field. Kentucky has beaten South Carolina 5 straight years. I did not know that.
My goodness.
That's unbelievable.
That says more about South Carolina than Kentucky, maybe. I don't know. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Jeff here, taking you up to 1 o'clock. Appreciate all of our segment sponsors out there. Cheeseburger, Hamilton's there in downtown Auburn. Exquisite dining. Envirocare, pardon me.
Yeah.
Lawn and Pest Services, and Lake Martin Building Supply right here in Alexander City for all your building supply needs. We're talking about the SEC right now. Arkansas and Texas A&M. Arkansas continuing to put up a fight. They're playing hard for Chad Morris, but not getting a lot of results. Arkansas just cannot seem to win that game against A&M.
Well, people was on Jimbo.
They had opportunity, though.
People were on Jimbo for grabbing 25 out of face mask.
Really?
Oh, man. They ripping him. The times have changed. You don't do that.
You don't do that anymore. Huh?
You don't do that anymore.
Okay. They can't get his attention.
No, I mean, I guess not, because he was fixing to get in a fight out on the field, and it was fixing to cost A&M 15 at a crucial time. And they called timeout, and he come over there, and he got his attention by grabbing his face mask. But, you know, I guess we're in a world where that's over with.
I guess so. Vanderbilt hangs on against Tennessee State,
Tough
31-27
in that game, too.
Yeah, it is.
Bad situation.
Did they ever say what happened?
It was a hit, but he got to the sideline, and that's where he collapsed.
Almost sounds almost like an aneurysm or something, the way, because, I mean, I've never even heard of anybody having a hit. And
then collapse. But they said even Tennessee State's coach said he watched it. It was a good hit.
Yeah.
I saw was a report last night was that he had done the surgery, the swelling had gone down, but he was still in ICU.
Yeah, that's what it said on ESPN this morning. Mother said he was stable, but in fighting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Alabama, Louisville, Louisiana was the latest victim, 56-14. Alabama, it just seems odd. They give up 200 yards rushing to Louisiana.
Yeah.
But they're ahead 49-0 at the half.
Yeah.
Things like that are going to happen. So, I mean, their offense is so much better this year.
Yeah.
That they're playing so many more second and third teamers defensively.
I guess
they're giving up a lot of yards.
I guess so.
And statistically, their defense is not going to look as good.
Yeah.
But when you're scoring 55 points a game, does it matter?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
But anyway, Alabama State's at number 1, Georgia number 2, Ohio State number 3, Clemson number 4, LSU number 5 in the coaches, LSU number 5 in the AP, Oklahoma number 5 in the coaches, Notre Dame number 6 in the AP, Oklahoma number 7, LSU number 6, and Notre Dame number 7 in the coaches. Auburn number 8 in the AP, West Virginia number 8 in the coaches, West Virginia number 9 in the AP, Auburn number 9 in the coaches, and Washington rounds out the top 10.
All right, can I ask you a question?
Please.
Can you tell me what 3 coaches are not evidently have no clue what they're looking at, or somebody else is?
Why they have voted Ohio State and Clemson number 1? Yeah, I don't know. It's a good
Because
question.
I'm telling you right now.
It's got to be Urban Meyer, Dabo Swinney, and somebody else, right?
You would think. But I'm telling you right now, it's Alabama, and it is not even close.
No.
With anybody else.
No, not even remotely.
Not even remotely close.
No.
So how could you put? I just don't. Either somebody's doing it for you, or there's some jealousy there.
Maybe the coaches aren't allowed.
And I'm getting this from Caleb Brooks, because Caleb tweeted about this, and Caleb's been on the show, and he's right.
Maybe you're not allowed to vote for yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Caleb tweeted this yesterday or day before. I guess it was yesterday, and I get it. What are you looking at? I just don't understand.
I don't really.
I'm with you. But still,
It's foolish. You look if they make it public, they'll be ridiculed, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence goes down. Trouble in Clemson.
To me, it's a non-issue. It's a moot point. Let me tell you why. He was a starter. He lost his starting job. He transferred. End of story. It's
Sure.
a moot point.
Oh, that's yeah.
It's a moot point.
But what about Clemson moving forward?
I'm not sure that.
I mean, give the third team guy credit at Bryce.
Someone gone brought
He
him
made
back.
he made
He made the throw.
some
Did
quality
you see the
throws.
throw?
He made some quality throws late and got the win over a Syracuse team that beat them last year.
Yeah.
But this Clemson, I don't know when. Do we know when Lawrence is going to be back?
I heard he broke his collarbone.
Oh, really?
That's what
I thought he was in concussion protocol.
Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe I'm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm here. Everybody's hearing a little something different. But if he's out for any length of time, Clemson, that certainly changes Clemson's outlook.
Now you got to go with the freshman.
Yeah. So, Penn State chokes again against Ohio State.
Yeah.
What do you think of the final play? Did you see it?
The run play.
On 4th and 6.
Look, if I'm coaching McSorley.
Neck strain, says ESPN on Trevor
Okay,
Lawrence.
neck strain. Okay.
So somewhere in between me and you.
Yeah, exactly. How about that? If I'm coaching McSorley, it's a no-brainer. I'm rolling him out, and I'm giving him the run pass option. But if somebody's open, throw it. If they're not open, tuck it and get it. I guarantee you they get it.
Who's the best player on Penn State?
McSorley.
Why you take a ball out of his hand?
Yeah, that's my question.
It's just stupid.
Because you outcoached yourself.
Yeah.
James Franklin outcoached himself. Here was my first thought when I saw that. Is Chip Lindsey sitting in the box at Penn State? Because he ran it right up the middle.
He did. I mean, and I said, look, I get it. You say everybody in the world thinks it's going to be a pass, so we could fool them, but that's only if your offensive line can block.
9 times out of 10, what you end up doing is fooling yourself.
Yeah. Jeffrey reminds us that Clemson only plays one more ranked team the rest of the way. That's NC State. ACC is pretty bad this year.
Yep.
So they could play bad and still win out.
And still get into the playoffs.
Watch Wake Forest this week, though.
Yeah.
Watch Wake Forest this week. Clemson, look, I'm just saying.
That's a trap game.
Trap. Notre Dame crushes Stanford. Not only beats them, but crushes them.
I'm not. Notre Dame doesn't impress me, nor does Stanford.
I think it says more about Stanford.
I agree.
Probably.
Totally.
That's pretty much going to wrap it up for the Auburn Blitz
thank
on
you.
this
We don't
Monday,
talk
and not a
about
moment too soon.
You ain't joking.
We'll be back on the air tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure to join us then for Coach Jeff Hines. I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.